Drooby Dooby Movies, Judas Cinema Closet, JT the Talking Head, Teo the Terminurdle, Zed Zilla Movies, Masters of Matinee.
How you doing, Drew?
Oh, I am doing fantastic. How are you doing today?
I have been better, have been worse, can't complain. Hey Drew, it's been a while since me and you have actually been on the show to just chat. You did the episode back in October with me, and Nerdy Dustin, and that was great. And then you
Yeah.
came on the Christmas special, and that was fantastic too. But it's been a while since me and you have just really sat down and had a talk, man. So I'm
Yeah,
glad
dude.
to see you.
I'm glad to see you too. I'm glad to be here and talk, man. It's been a while. I love talking movies with you. Love talking in general with you, so I'm excited to do so.
Hell yeah. So I want to start our conversation off today because we don't really have much of a game plan, which I've found not having a game plan can be just as good as having a game plan. Um, I want to start with the icebreaker that I ask people when I haven't talked to them for a while. Uh, and I think this will be interesting for you because you watch a hell of a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And so I want to know, and I asked you this question the first time you ever came on our show. What is the last movie you watched? And on a scale of 1 to 10, if that movie is now your life, how fucked are you?
Not very, but the last movie I watched was American Fiction. It's a newer movie, and it was like a satire piece, comedy, a little drama. It's very normal life. I'd be perfectly fine.
Nice, nice.
It was a little boring. The movie I watched before that was Barbie though, which I would thrive. So not only would I survive, I would thrive in Barbie.
Teo watched Barbie last night as well.
Hell yeah.
That's such a good fucking movie. I don't like the hate that it gets. I've been seeing online like this really nasty hate and people just misunderstand it. They're like, "Oh, it's a chick flick, it's a girl movie." It's not, it's a human movie. You know,
Yeah. Hmm.
it's about the human experience. To those people, I always say, "Tell me you haven't watched Barbie without telling me you haven't watched Barbie." You know?
Yeah. No, I totally agree, dude, because people want to say, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's all about women, it's all about girls," and which yes, that's as it should be, but it's not all about them. It's about being a human. It's about humanity, and even Ken has his own arc in his own way to
Mhm.
where like she gets across that like there are men out there that are appreciative and awesome and fucking just I don't know. I thought she did a very good job of telling both sides, but still having the woman side be dominant, which it should be. And it was just everyone could relate to it. I mean, the ending of when what her depiction of humanity is when Barbie is like transitioning into a human and she sees the montages of all the families and the daughters and the mothers and the brothers and father and it was just so perfect. It was so somber and it was so beautiful that that was her depiction of what it is to be human and what you should value when you are alive, you know?
Yeah. Like the the main girl or lady whose Barbie was played by America Ferrera.
Mhm.
Her issues when she has that whole rant
Oh,
about
yeah.
like
Mhm.
expectations on women and everything.
Mhm.
Like a lot of the stuff, sure. I mean, yeah, it's written to be relatable to women, but a lot of the stuff men can be related, can relate to as well, with
Yeah.
all these unrealistic expectations that gets thrown upon them by society. I think that it's a really interesting commentary on societal norms and standards as well as expectations. And yeah, I thought Barbie was a fantastic movie. It was a solid, at the very least, 4 to 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah.
I really liked the writing of it as well. I thought that it was very well
Mhm.
written, and
Mhm. It was mhm.
it was a beautifully shot movie too. Like it was really pretty to look at. And there's
Mhm.
always something to be said when you can make a movie that is both well written, well acted, and well directed with great cinematography. And Barbie has a lot of everything that,
Yeah,
it's a movie for everybody, and I just wish that people could get over that little hump of
yeah,
of being pretty sexist and saying, "Oh, it's a girls movie." Fuck that, dude. Fuck
yeah,
that. Go
yeah.
watch Barbie, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Go watch Barbie, and the set designs, the production, I mean, it's
Yeah,
just like it's like the costumes, like, they just fucking nailed it, they put their all into it, they did so much research, and it looks like they had so much fun filming it, everyone did such a great job, it was very well balanced of being funny and also having such great meaning, and that's what I love about Greta Gerwig, and I've seen almost all of her movies, and she just displays such raw human emotion in all of her films to where people can latch on and relate to. And I was really worried that that wouldn't happen with Barbie because of it being such a big motion picture, but she nailed it, bro. She did it so well. Very impressive.
did you watch the Emmys?
No, I have not watched any award show. I usually only watch the Oscars, but I like saw a little bit about the Emmys and I saw who won.
Dude, so many of like the projects that I loved got snubbed. Barbie got
Mhm.
snubbed in literally everything except for the like new category of like box office like success
Oh,
category or whatever,
yeah,
which I think they
yeah.
literally just made so they could give Barbie or Oppenheimer another award. But like even shows, I don't know if you watch a lot of TV. Have you seen the Last of Us show?
No, I haven't watched Last of Us yet, but I heard amazing things about it, and I really do need to get on it. I'm lacking in the shows. I've just been all about the movies.
Dude, if you get a whim to watch a TV show anytime soon, I highly suggest it be The Last of Us. Have you played the game?
No, I haven't played the game either. I'm not much of a zombie guy, but I hear that it's the story and everything is much more than a zombie
Yeah.
like game and story. So I really do need to give it a try because I've like I said, amazing things.
Yeah, it's not a traditional zombie game like Left 4 Dead or Days Gone was,
Right. Mhm.
it is a deep narrative game. It's also linear. So like it's not really a whole lot to like get lost in. It pretty much pushes you through the story. Um the Last of Us games, I haven't played 2 yet. I've only played the first one. And then they announced season 2 of Last of Us, and that's gonna be covering the second game, I'm guessing. They might add a because between the first game and the second game, there's a pretty big time jump. Like the girl Ellie is now like an adult in the second game. So I don't know if they're gonna like make a season where they just add extra stuff and write extra stuff that wasn't in the games into the show, which I think would be fine if they did, but that way that they can they can let Pedro Pascal and the girl who plays Ellie, I can't remember her name. Um, they can let them age up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it'd be easier to make Pedro Pascal look old, but to make
Mhm.
the girl who plays Ellie, she's just a kid right now. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking they might do that and let them age up a little bit, or they might just go straight for Last of Us 2. And if that's the case, I need to play the second Last of Us game, so I
Yeah.
can, because I don't want to watch the show before I play the game. But yeah, you should definitely watch it, man. It's a very high narrative driven story. And the what I was gonna say though is that Last of Us got snubbed on so many Emmy wins that it's ridiculous, man. That
Yeah.
show deserved so much more than what they gave it recognition for, and I kinda wonder like, if they maybe like, the Hollywood Foreign Press just thought, "Oh, this is just another dumb video game adaptation." And I kinda wanted to know, what do you think about video game movies? Like, I mean, there's tons of them that have been made. Some are
Mhm.
very significantly better than others, but, like, what are some that you, like, really dig?
Well, shit, man. As far as video game movies, I mean,
Or TV shows?
yeah. Um, I mean, honestly, funny enough, I just watched the new Sonic movies, and I really am a fan. personally, because I liked the Sonic, TV show back in the day, and I watched that a lot, but the new adaptation was really good. I thought it was really well done. It was really funny, and they still made it relatable somehow, and the CGI was really good. I'm a Jim Carrey fan. I thought Jim Carrey was excellent. I mean, it's hard to be Eggman, but the dude really tries his best to bring to life, so I would say those, and then, man, the first couple Resident Evils I'm a fan of, but kinda gets off the tracks for me eventually. But my one of my best friends and roommates, he loves that stuff. He just watches it all the time. So I watch my good amount of that. It's decent action flick, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. What other ones do you like?
Um, the Sonic movies, I've only seen the first Sonic movie. It was really good. I loved Jim Carrey as Robotnik, and I was a big Sonic fan as a kid. I played all the games and stuff on the Genesis, and I really freaking loved Sonic. So it's really cool seeing it come to life. Do you remember the controversy with Sonic, with the ugly Sonic, the original design of
Oh,
him?
yes, bro, yes, dude, that was they l they literally got them to redesign him, that was crazy.
One of the few times that fan pressure against Hollywood has actually freaking worked, and it justifiably so, because that original Sonic design was terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
Uh, I really dug the
terrible.
first movie. I need to see the second one. The third one's coming out this year. Um,
Yeah, dude, I'm hyped for it. I immediately looked up if there was a 3rd one. I saw that it was coming out soon, I was like, "Let's go."
they're adding in Shadow, which is cool. And there's no Jim Carrey, no Jim Carrey anymore. He's done. And that
What? He's
yeah,
really done? I really thought he was just gonna keep going at least for the Sonic movies.
apparently not. That's unfortunate. We Judas and
Yeah,
Zed and I had a discussion about this on an episode previously, um, which I won't go too much in depth about, because at this point I don't even know if the audience has seen that episode yet. I don't know where that's going to fall in our production
yeah,
timeline. Um, but Zed had a theory that I'll just briefly say, that he thinks they'll probably just recast Robotnik, and it'll probably we'll still probably have Robotnik, because Robotnik's such a huge part of like Shadow's story and everything.
yeah, for sure.
So he's thinking we'll probably still get Dr. Robotnik, just not with Jim Carrey. Um, have you ever seen Detective Pikachu?
No, I haven't. Is that, like, the newer one where it's, like, live action and animated, like, mix?
Yes, yeah. Live action 3D animated. It's a surprisingly fun neo noir film in the Pokemon universe.
Oh, I didn't know it was a neo-noir type,
Yeah,
film. That's fun. That's cool.
it's a very intriguing movie. It's very underrated in my opinion. I thought the Detective Pikachu was fantastic. I don't know if they're gonna make a second one or not. I haven't heard anything about a second one, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because I think it did pretty well in the box office.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It's fucking Pokemon, dude. Everyone loves that shit.
Oh yeah. What about
But that's a
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's just I love when movies like that kind of take that twist because it reminds me of Who Framed Roger the Rabbit,
Right.
and it's just such a fun little time. You know, and another newer one that's kind of based on it, well, like is based on a video game. It was the Gran Turismo movie that came
Dude,
out.
sleeper hit. Fucking
Dude, it
sleeper.
was so good.
Yeah.
I was so surprised. Like it had its cheesy moments, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, like, it was very moving. The way they intertwined the game with the live action and those transitions they did, and the racing itself was really cool, and, like, I thought the story was gonna end after he, like, won the tournament or whatever,
Yeah.
but then it, like, goes into his actual start of his career,
Yep.
but and then it becomes this, like, drama piece for a
Yeah.
little bit. You're
wi-
like, "What the
without
hell, dude?"
without spoiling anything. Um without spoiling, the movie takes an insanely
Yeah.
dark turn.
Yeah.
It's a
I think
very
yeah.
it becomes very depressing for a minute, and then it goes right back into high octane.
Yeah.
It's so it was so well done, and what's crazy is that it was based on a true story. The kid Jan, or I can't remember his last name, Jan whatever, is it really happened to him. I remember playing Gran Turismo, I think it was 5 on the PS3 years
Mhm.
ago when they ran that competition for their training camp where the greatest Gran Turismo 5 or maybe it was 4 players in the world got to go and learn how to drive real F1, and they got to go and really race, and that kid made a career. He's still racing. Um and it's a very inspiring story. I've always kind of seen it as what's the movie, is it's called Cloak and Dagger, I think, about
Okay.
how like the government made a video game and they made it to recruit people who are like really good at it so they can like help them with like spy stuff, and like this kid gets a copy of it and he's like really good at it, so like I can't, I think it's called Cloak and Dagger, I can't remember, but it reminded me of that premise where it's like a, a planted game to find real people who are good at the game to bring them into doing it in the
Mhm.
real life. And
Mhm.
yeah, Gran Turismo was freaking, and let me tell you, that movie was such a marketing vehicle for Sony. If you notice, and of course it's made by Sony, of course the Gran
Mhm.
Turismo is made by Sony. It's a Sony PlayStation exclusive. Every piece of technology in that movie is a Sony. The TV that Jan's playing on is a Sony TV. He's
Mhm.
playing it on a PlayStation. They all have Sony Xperia phones. They all use
Mhm.
Sony headphones. They even found a fucking way to get a Walkman into the movie. The whole movie was a marketing vehicle. It was
Yeah.
filled with product placement, and it was brilliant how they did it. And let me tell you, it was a marketing strategy for the game as well, for Gran Turismo 7 on the
Sure.
PS5, and it sold me on the game. I bought the game because I watched the movie, and let me tell you, it's no fucking coincidence. They released this movie on Netflix the same fucking week that their holiday sale started, where Gran Turismo 5 went on half off sale.
That's marketing 101 right there.
Yep, and it worked on me, and I bought Gran Turismo 7, and as for as brutally difficult of a game that is, I have been
Yeah.
absolutely, no fucking joke, loving it. I have been playing that has been the only game that I've been playing lately, and I love it. It's so funny that that movie absolutely worked on me because I'm usually pretty standoffish when it comes to marketing and film, and
Mhm.
I am the spiteful asshole that will look at a company and be like, I'm not going to buy that just because you told me to buy it. But no, it worked on me this time, and I have no regrets because Gran Turismo 7 is really friggin' fun. And that movie was killer. I don't own that yet. I need to get the 4K of that because I streamed it on Netflix, and I absolutely was blown away by it. It was a solid, very solid 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah. I would agree, man. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a lot of fun and a very emotional ride. And it was, yeah, the racing scenes were really spectacular. It was just so well directed, and I was impressed, man. Yeah, I would say a 4 out of 5 for sure.
You know what other new movie came out this year that's not specifically based on a specifically video game, although there are video games of the IP? The
Mhm.
Dungeons and Dragons movie. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that was another good, pretty good, surprisingly good one.
Mm.
I like went into it thinking it was gonna be. I was like, oh, this will probably be like a little funny, you know. And I personally love Chris Pine, so I was like, I'm going for Chris Pine no matter what. And then it was just so well written, and it felt like an actual like Dungeons and Dragons thing and story. And oh, it was just so cool. And there was a behind the scenes on the disc, and there's a little like movie magic in there that they do, which is cool when you don't only rely on CGI and you can do some things practically to where it's so smooth and it looks so real. Because what you're doing is real, but it's just some movie magic. I just love that shit so much. So yeah, it was a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah, the D&D movie was definitely a winner in my book. That was another sleeper hit that I feel like didn't get the recognition that it deserved. Because I feel like awards shows and stuff, they look at these movies and they think that they're just silly little video game movies and TV shows, and they don't matter because they're not based on traditional Hollywood. It's not based on a
Yeah,
book. It's not directed by Martin Scorsese. It's not Killers of the Flower fucking Moon. So
yeah,
uh which I have not seen that yet. I need to see. I'm waiting for the 4K to come out and then I'm gonna watch it.
oh
Um
yeah.
but yeah, dude, like I have been thinking lately they have been making some great video game adaptations into film and television. The Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. That was pretty good too. I mean, I would because when Chris
Right?
was it Chris Pratt? Yeah, Chris Pratt got casted as Mario, and they're like, he's just gonna be Chris. Like his voice isn't gonna be anything different. And I went into it kind of being all salty, and then they immediately like played a joke on it to where
Mhm.
they were like New York Italian, and they
Right.
were running the commercial. And in the commercial, they were doing act over the top act like Italians, and then they like pan, and then they're doing that New York Italian accent, and it's like okay, I get it now, and that's cool and that's doable. It was funny, so I'm down with it, but it was funny and fun, and the animation was really, like, slick and smooth. I was digging it.
Yeah, I absolutely loved the Mario Brothers movie, man. Uh, Jack Black as Bowser was insanely
Yeah,
surprisingly good.
yeah,
Like he was absolutely
he killed that
perfect.
shit.
Um and the animation in that movie. Who does it? Is it Lumination? The same people that do Despicable Me and Minions and stuff, right? That was that studio.
Yeah, you're right. Universal Pictures, Illumination, Nintendo.
Yep.
Oh,
I I really hope that they will do Mario movie 2 pretty soon. Hopefully like by 2025. That'll probably be the prime time to do it. I want to see the Super Mario Bros. 2. That'll be amazing. Um what other video game movies have come out recently? I know that the Peacock has the new show, the Twisted Metal show, but I haven't seen it yet.
oh yeah, that is pretty cool. I played that on the original PlayStation for a little bit. I remember that shit. Wild.
Yeah, I haven't played I think I played Twisted Metal Black on the PS2. That's the only one I ever
Oh,
got to really play, but um I hear the show's okay. It's got Anthony Mackie in it from the Avengers and one of my favorite wrestlers, Samoa Joe. He's actually the when you're looking at the Sweet Tooth clown, Samoa Joe's the body. He's not the voice, but he's the body of Sweet Tooth.
oh hell yeah.
Um but yeah, I mean video game movies, man, it's an art that has been historically really bad. I mean, look at the original Super Mario Brothers movie from the '90s,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Or is
for
it the
sure.
'80s when that one came out? I can't remember when it came out.
That was pretty rough.
And that's wild to me because Umbrella is releasing like this huge box set, and I'm gonna call some fucking people out right now. Umbrella is releasing that huge box set, and then so many people in our Discord server are like, "Oh man, I got it," or "Oh man, I can't, I can't believe I missed it." And it's like this movie has been universally known to be like one of the worst movies ever made. Why are you trying to
Yeah.
spend $120 on a box set for it, y'all? Come on now.
It's nostalgic, right? Dude,
It's nostalgia.
it has a 2.1 on Letterboxd. That's pretty rough.
Yeah,
Pretty rough.
that's not even mid, man. It's not even mid.
What about the newer Mortal Kombat movie that dropped a couple years ago? You
I
like
haven't.
that one?
I actually haven't seen it, but I'll tell you, I watched the original Mortal Kombat movies from the '90s.
Yeah.
The really cheesy, over the top ones, and
Yeah.
I love those, but I have not seen the new one yet. I've heard good things. Did you watch the new one?
The new one was okay. I mean, I don't know. It's just like it's funny to me because I don't know what people really expect with like a Mortal Kombat movie. Like, it's like, do you really want like a good narrative, or do you want to see like people fight? Like,
Right.
and I just feel like Mortal Kombat, like it does give you some good fight scenes, but they also try and somewhat drive this narrative with all the characters, and I just think people like, I don't know if they're expecting too much, but it was good for what I thought it should have been. I thought the action was pretty cool, but I don't know. It's hard to do like fighting game movies. Like you just want to see them fight, but like I feel like if you that's why I like love animation and stuff. Like there's so many things that it's like you want to see why it's like you want to see it in live action, or do you really want to just see some cool shit happen and cool fighting shit and like just animate that shit. But
Right.
I don't know, to each his own.
Are you a fan of the Mortal Kombat games at all?
Uh I played a couple of them. I'm just not a fan of fighting games in general because I'm generally bad at them, and like you don't really enjoy playing games that you're bad at. But I think it's a cool game, and I think the people that are good at it are like fucking cracked at it and are really good at it, which is really cool because they memorize all those fucking moves. And I don't know how you can barely memorize two of them bitches.
I stopped buying Mortal Kombat because my friend, always whipped up on me on it, man. I'm awful. I'm a
He's on a
button masher.
Yeah, bro. Let me just dive and like
Uh,
dive kick you.
I am not good at video games. I love video games, but I'm just plain simple not good at them. I think that video games are amazing works of art. I think they have incredible narratives. They're very great things if you want to spend $70 and get lost in an 8 to 10 hour narrative or a deep RPG. But because I only care about the story and the art, I usually will like throw it on the easiest mode possible. Just get me to
Yeah,
the story as fast as possible. And I stopped buying Mortal Kombat games because like my best friend Chris would always whip up on me so hard. He was the first one to always memorize all these combos and everything. And when Mortal Kombat came to like being able to play online, I got 10 and 11, and for 2 years of Mortal Kombat straight, I never beat him. I never won a match, and he's not even particularly great at it. Like he could probably go online and get his ass handed to him a bunch too. Um,
yeah,
but it was so intimidating to even think about going online, and those games only have like 3 hour stories. So I just stopped fucking
yeah,
buying it because I'm just like, I'm only getting 3 hours of enjoyment out of this. And every time I play with you, I get pounded into the ground relentlessly. So yeah, I don't like fighting games either. I am
yeah,
a shooter and RPG and racing game fan, and I'm really
yeah,
bad at the shooters.
yeah. I'm decent. I like to play Apex a lot. Apex is one I like. That's something I would like to see it adapted into something like an animated TV show or something, because there's a lot of lore behind all those characters and stuff. So it'd be fun to kind of play around with something like that.
I
Which makes
I liked Apex when it first came out.
Yeah.
But I haven't really played it much since the first season. I was a big Titanfall player. I love
Oh,
Titanfall
hell
and
yeah.
Titanfall
Yeah.
2. Uh, Respawn, make Titanfall 3 already. I know you won't because you're too busy putting money into Apex.
Yeah,
Um,
bro.
but I don't like that you have to play 3 players. I wish there was a
Uh,
solos on
yeah.
Apex because I can't play with online randoms. I just can't do it. Like if I'm
Yeah.
in a high tense situation like having one life and you need to have communication and cooperation in a game, I can't do
Yeah.
online randoms. I can play Call of Duty Team Deathmatch all the fuck I want. But I can't play Apex. I can't play squads on Warzone or PUBG online with random people. Like it has to be just my friends, and if I don't have concurrently 3 friends to play with, I'm not gonna keep the game installed. Just,
Yeah.
I that's the one thing about Apex, but other than that, the game's so smooth and the characters are great and the art style is amazing on that game.
Mhm.
It's a fun
Mhm.
game. It'd be really cool, yeah, if they did, like, some kind of animated or even a live action Apex thing, and then they could also bring it in and mix it with the with the Titans from Titanfall because it's in the same universe.
Yeah, that is true. Titanfall's sick, dude. I love Titanfall. Um, just maybe I didn't watch it, but they did do the Halo series on
Mm.
Paramount. They did, and I didn't watch it, but I did not hear good things about it.
I hear mixed things. Are do you like the Halo games? Have you played much of them?
Yeah, I played Halo 1, 2, and 3 for sure. Those were really fucking great games. That's one of those great narrative driven stories where you can play and the story builds and builds. So like your missions become more and more important. Yeah, especially Halo 3. I remember running co-op in Halo 3 with my buddies doing split screen, and it was a fucking blast, dude.
Yeah, the Halo games were a big part of my childhood, but, like, I haven't got into them since Halo Reach. Like, that was the last, like, really big one that I played
Mhm.
consecutively, like, every single day. Um, but with the Halo TV show, I've got a few friends that are, like, they are diehard. They still play Infinite every fucking day,
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
they really liked the TV show. They said it was just about everything they could have asked for out of a Halo show.
Okay.
So I don't know. Are they gonna make season 2 of that?
I have no idea. I haven't heard any news about that at all. So who
That's
knows?
I don't know. Have you ever played the Gears of War games?
No, I have not. I was like, when those games came out, I was never like really interested in those kind of games. I was more of like a Madden 2K guy. I played a bunch of sports games, and then eventually I got into like the narrative games and all that stuff. But I never got into Gears of War. I heard it's really good though. I heard it's really good.
The Gears franchise is one of my all-time favorites. I love Gears. And I would love if they made a Gears movie. And Dave Batista is a huge fan, and he has
Yeah,
been
I've seen people being like, "He'd be perfect for it," and he even is like, "Please,
yeah,
please, give me that call whenever you guys get it ready, I'm ready," which is awesome.
he would be perfect for either Dom or Marcus. It doesn't matter which one he's playing. He'd be great for either one. I adore Gears, and I want a show or a movie or something of it because the world of Gears of War is so deep and it's so gritty and
Mhm.
dark and brutal. And I think it would translate well to film. Um, I don't know, man. There's tons and tons of video game movies out there. They've been making them forever, and
Yeah,
like we
dude.
said earlier, man, some of them are good, some of them are bad. What's a video game that you like playing that you wish they would make a movie of or a TV show?
Well, I was gonna bring up that they're eventually gonna do God of War. Like they've already said that they're gonna do it. They haven't really come out with casting or anything, I don't think. But they've like said God of War is on the list of the games we'll be adapting because Sony's doing that whole franchise with it. Um, so I'm excited for God of War. I think that's really smart. It's one of the best like narrative driven like story games out there. Um, I only played uh the last like 3 that have come out. I've only played those. I didn't play any of the early ones, but I heard the early ones were really fun and pretty good for around that time of like video games. But these last couple that have been on the new PlayStations have just been breathtakingly beautiful too. So and I love that kind of like lore, that Nordic lore and everything. It's a lot of fun and like I said, the story's really cool. So yeah, I think that would be hella fucking sick to see something live action. And I've seen a couple fan castings for and what's this goddamn name?
Kratos.
Kratos, thank you. Um
Dave
Kratos and
Batista. Dave Batista would be a good Kratos, don't you think?
yeah, damn near. I mean, I've heard people say the dude who voices Kratos should just be Kratos, but the dude who voices Kratos is huge.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the very nimble type of guy.
Right.
He's a big man, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
He's
and
tall
plus
too. He's like
yeah, yeah. Plus
crazy.
he's not an actor like actor, I don't think. He's more of just a voice actor.
No
I've never
voice
seen
actor.
I mean, he might have had TV show and movie roles, but I don't think I've ever seen him in anything other than video games. Um, you know what movie I think would be really fun if they could pull it off, and if Hollywood would let them get away with actually making it in the spirit of the games and not like bowing to being overly PC?
Hmm.
A Grand Theft Auto movie.
Oh, okay. Okay. That could be interesting.
Yeah, give me a GTA movie, but make it GTA. Like let the writers at Rockstar Games write the fucking movie, and let them like make fun of America how they make fun of it, and let them pick on all of the cultural aspects of modern day. I'm afraid, like I think that Hollywood would be too afraid to do that because
Yeah.
GTA is very satirical.
Yeah.
Like I've always seen the Grand Theft Auto series as like akin to a way, way, way more grown up Mel Brooks. That makes if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that I think it would work well as a film. That's just saying, just saying. Oh, you know what other like it's not an adaptation of the video game in particular, but the book series that the video games are based off of. Have you seen The Witcher show on Netflix?
No, I have not.
Dude, The Witcher show is actually legit freaking great. Like
Really?
I've read the books, I've played the games. Witcher is one of my favorite franchises of all time.
Yeah.
I really liked the show. I thought that it was really good. I highly recommend it. I don't think that it's as good as The Last of Us at this point, and especially
Yeah.
because Henry Cavill has left the project and he's being
Yeah.
recast with, is it Liam? It's one of the Hemsworth brothers, Liam or Chris. I can't remember which one,
Mhm.
but he's Geralt's being recast with one of the
Okay.
Hemsworths. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the future of the project, but yeah.
Yeah.
The Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, how do you because Henry left because they weren't being true to the adaptation and he didn't like where they were going, but like
That's not
did you
true.
feel that way?
That's not why he left. He left
Oh,
because he got offered a deal with Warner Brothers to do Superman, do more Man of Steel movies, and like they wanted to
yeah.
lock him in. And then James Gunn came in and was like, "Yeah, no, we're not going to do this anymore." So Henry Cavill got he left Witcher to do Superman. Then Warner Brothers abandoned him.
Huh.
At least
Dang,
that's what I read.
that's
I
funny.
mean, I didn't read anything about him having issues with the source material. I always thought that he liked it. I do know that like they don't follow the books to a T. It's kind of the show is kind of somewhere in the middle of the books and the video games because the video games don't follow the books either. They very
Yeah.
roughly follow the book. And there's a lot of creative liberties. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was totally fine. I thought that the book series was great. The video game series is my favorite video games of all time, and the
Yeah.
movie series was phenomenal. Or the TV show series was phenomenal.
Yeah. My thing with the whole, like, I don't know, when people do like creative liberties like that is like, don't feel like you should want that because why would you just want the same thing over and over again? Like, if it's a video game adaptation and you're getting to see it in live action, would you really want like the same exact story? Like, I don't feel like you would. And then people get upset and they're like, oh, it wasn't as good. It's like, well, they gotta try something new. Like, you gotta be open to like changes, you got to be open to a different experience with these same characters. And it's like you got like if you like the original source material, you should like that like viewing. You should be like, okay, cool. I get to see these characters in a different point of view with different like circumstances and settings sometimes, you know? And that should be cool to you because you can see it played out differently. And if you like the other version better, that's totally okay, but you can't just be like, "Oh, it sucked because it was different." It's like you gotta still be open and judge it like fairly, you know?
I can definitely see where you're coming from, and I agree with you on certain aspects when it, especially when it comes to making video games into movies because there is a visual there.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same when we're talking about adaptations of books?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, there's I feel like as long as the book stays true to like the main story and like what the main story is about and is happening, but the creative liberties are those in between parts that maybe like grows the character a different way or grows the character a little more so you get a little more or you know there's oftentimes like Dune where you have to compress it and to me, like that's okay as long as like you have the main like points throughout the story and like you have the main main like meaning of that story. Even if like the ending is different, as long as like the meaning, the true meaning of the book and what it was written for comes across in the movie, I'm totally like okay with it.
I see where you're coming from, but I just think that with a book adaptation, the books we don't have a visual in the first place. So I
Yeah,
think that the way that some people feel about it, it's also the way that I usually feel about it is I would rather have it follow the book pretty much to a T so I can get a full visual of what the book's message is opposed to having to read it and imagine it myself.
yeah.
That's just me though. I do see where you're coming from for sure though. I think that it's a interesting subject. I think that we should do for a future episode, me and you should do movies based on books.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we could make an episode of that. There's so many out there.
We could make a dedicated podcast about that.
Yeah, for sure. It's endless, dude.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, well, the thing is too, like the longer the book is, the harder it is to adapt into a screenplay, and you would have to do in parts like Dune, and even two parts in Dune might be like still he's probably compressing it a decent amount still. Um, but you always don't have that budget to do what Lord of the Rings did, you know, and really like go for it and really make it the runtime and make it as true as you can to the source material and make it that length. You gotta do what you gotta do. So as long as I get to see like that's what I said, like the main when I'm like saying like the main points, like you gotta have like the still that story, that's still like that plot line. But I'm fine with when creative liberties take place in between those major plot lines, you know. So as long as I get to see like three-fourths of the fucking book played out, I'm like cool.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah,
But
I can see where you're coming
I
from.
would prefer like I would like it if like every book could damn near be a show, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing too. That's why I think that I prefer The Last of Us over any other movie adaptation that I've seen lately is
Mhm,
because The Last of Us, it was very one for one with with the game. It
mhm.
wasn't it wasn't 100%, but it was very close to one for one. And the way that they did it, they were able to do that was because it was a 10-hour movie essentially with 10 episodes being each an hour long, and the game was probably around that amount of time too. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
Mhm.
they even were able to do the DLC in The Last of Us with, Ellie before she met Joel, in the
Okay.
show, and that was a magical episode. You need to
Hell
watch
yeah.
The Last of Us,
Yeah, bro.
Drew.
I might yeah, I might have to start that now. You're hyping it up to me. I'm getting excited.
It's a
Might check it out.
it's a crazy show. Hey, before we wrap up here, I wanna use this last, like, 15 minutes we got, to talk about Oscar season coming up because you
Yeah.
saw so many movies in
Oscar
2023.
season.
You've probably seen just about every movie that's gonna be nominated, huh?
I probably think so. There's probably like 4, 5 or so that I haven't seen. Probably a couple foreign films that I haven't seen yet and whatnot. But for the most part, I would say yes. I am very on it on the newer movie. I at least saw like the more popular nominated ones. I didn't see as much as some people out there, but I definitely saw. It was a good year for me.
How many did you see this, last year? Did you make it to 300?
So like no, like in total, I watched almost 500 movies. I
Oh,
watched
500.
400. Yeah, I watched 497 movies, but out of all those, I think only like
Damn.
maybe 80 of them were 2023 releases.
Well, hold on. So you watched 497 movies in 2023. How did you not push yourself to get that last 3 in?
Dude, well, uh, it's just like I didn't realize I was gonna get there even until it was pretty like closer to the end of December because November I watched 53 movies. So it was kind of a big month for me. And it was because of the
Jesus.
holidays. I was watching a lot of movies on the
50
holidays and Thanksgiving.
53 movies in a month. Sir, I
Yeah.
am a movie fanatic, and I am lucky if I could barely get 53 in a fucking year.
Well,
Jesus.
I don't have a lot going on. I mean, I work 40, 45 hours a week sometimes, usually only 40. And I don't have any kids and it's just me and my wife and my wife works a decent amount too. She's at a restaurant too and she usually works like later. So
Right.
I'm usually just watching movies by myself. If I'm hanging out by myself, I'm watching movies and so I don't know. It just kind of happens. And I also build Legos, so I put on movies while I build Legos, like comedies and stuff.
Well, hey,
So that kind of helps too.
I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying that as a amazement. That's
Yeah.
insane, and
Yeah.
I'm very impressed that you saw nearly 500 movies in a year. That is outrageously insane to me. That's unfathomable. And I don't have a lot going on in my life either. My life is
Mm.
just doing this social
Hey,
media
you got
thing and
school.
school and stuff. But I mean, like, uh, fucking, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that also my wife is not the biggest movie watcher in the world either. She likes movies a lot, but she's also like, let's watch our reality shows. Let's watch our, just regular
Yeah.
TV show or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't typically count those in the same like
Yeah.
consumption as a film.
Yeah.
Neither do I count video games. I do play a lot of video games when I can too. Um,
Hmm.
so who do you have? Who do you have for Best Picture this year?
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
I think it's either gonna be Oppenheimer or Poor Things. I think the Academy will probably love Poor Things.
You don't. No, you're not gonna throw any bones to Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, I have a hot take. I
Ooh,
think I think the Killers of the Flower Moon isn't gonna get a single award.
really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like giving me the same vibe as Tar. Tar was my favorite movie of 2022. I thought it was fucking amazing. I thought it was brilliant. The writing, the directing, the acting, just superb. One of the best movies of that year, no doubt. Not a single award won. And I think it only got nominated in 2 things, or maybe even fucking nothing, dude. And I think Killers of the Flower Moon right now is they're going through award season. And they haven't gotten a lot, man. Like compared to some of these other movies that are like kind of like same tier as them. It's an amazing movie, but for some reason, I don't think it's gonna win, man. I don't think it's gonna win anything.
Do you think that says anything about like the gravitas of Martin Scorsese in modern day or filmmakers like Scorsese? Like, I mean, these guys are still making these epic pictures that are so serious and so dramatic and stuff. And do you ever just think like that audiences have changed so much and like these superhero blockbusters and stuff have kind of spoiled us to not be able to really enjoy pictures like Killers of the Flower Moon the same? Because like I feel that way sometimes too, and then a movie like Oppenheimer comes out and busts
I
the
was
box
gonna
office wide open.
I was gonna say the same exact thing, man. I was like, if you would have asked me that same question before Oppenheimer comes out, I would say yes. I would say that no one can intake anything that has any value or serious substance. We all have ADHD and TikTok brains now, and we can't sit down and watch anything for longer than 2 hours, you know. So, um, but yeah, Oppenheimer fucking did amazing in the theaters. It was a spectacle, and that was 3 hours, and it was a biopic, man. Like there wasn't a lot of action in it. It was dialogue heavy, and people went to that multiple times. I did. I saw it 2 or 3 times in theater. I saw it opening night in the 70 millimeter format IMAX film in my IMAX theater that's in downtown Indianapolis, and it was one of, like, 13 or 15 theaters in the US that had that, and it was just fucking breathtaking. One of the best theater experiences of my life and probably will be for a very long time. So I don't know, man. I think it's still there. I think it's still there, but I guess it needs to be marketed correctly because you look at Oppenheimer's trailer, it was short. They did not give up anything. The music in that trailer was so tense and it in the black and white and the color, like they really fucking sold that movie without giving any information. So you were like, oh fuck, it's 3 hours, but I really want to know what happens and why it's so intense. And yeah, so you fucking get people going, and the whole 70 millimeter IMAX thing was another like seller. I mean, he sold that shit out for like a month or two straight, and it usually those films only stay in those big IMAX theaters for like a week or two until something else comes out and they have to replace it. So it was impressive, man. So I don't know. I just think that when you have films like Oppenheimer and Poor Things and um uh um oh my god. I mean, even Godzilla minus one and The Killer was pretty good, and The Holdovers was really good. Fucking Barbie was really good. Across the Spider Verse, it's just like fucking on and on and on.
I
John Wick
think
4,
I
like
think
John Wick
the
4 might not win anything, bro. It's just ridiculous.
I think the point that we're getting at
Oh my
here, that
god.
we're arriving at here, is that 2023 was an amazing year for movies. There was so many good movies that came
Yeah.
out in 2023. So many
Yeah.
5 out of 5s, man. Like,
I mean, no, yeah, truly.
who do you have for best actor?
Best actor, it has to be Cillian Murphy, man. It has to be. I think it's gonna be a shame if he doesn't win, dude. I just that role, like, say what you if you didn't like the movie, I'm not gonna blame you, but like that role, what he did, how he transformed his body, and he really embodied Oppenheimer in such a way that is so impressive, and his like gravitas and like there were so many close-ups of Killian's face, and like he just kills it, dude. It's so fucking believable to where you think you're damn near watching a documentary or something, you know? And like I just and if Oppenheimer is like winning in other categories too, like they win in all these categories and Killian doesn't get best male lead, I mean, and that's fucked. But I don't know. Because I don't really know. Like Leonardo was pretty good, DiCaprio was pretty good, but like I don't think it was as good. And like Paul Giamatti is kind of circling around right now for the holdovers, which I love, and I that's awesome. That's fucking awesome. Never in 100 years would I think this would happen, especially because I mean, I saw the holdovers a little earlier because I saw it at a film festival, and I came out of that movie. I came out of that movie and I was like, should I have liked that movie as much as I did? Because I felt like I really fucking liked that movie. And it was like kind of weird because it was like almost out of nowhere, and like all the acting performance held such great weight and were so good. And Paul Giamatti was great, but like Killian has to get it, dude. Killian has to get it.
What about best female?
I want to go with Emma Stone for Poor Things. I'm really high on Poor Things, man. It was really, really fucking good. It was really funny. The writing was amazing. The production design was amazing. Dude, the way he directed that fucking movie, he used a lot of wide angles, and Emma Stone just fucking kills it, man. Like slays it, dude. She is so good. So I would say her for sure. Or I mean, Lily Gladstone is a really close second. She did really, really good in Killers of the Flower Moon. If anything's gonna win for Killers, it would be her. So
I haven't seen Emily Gladstone, she's the native chick, right? That was in
yeah.
she
Hmm.
she won an Emmy for her performance.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
the I haven't seen, what's the one with Emma Stone you just mentioned? What was it
Poor
called?
things.
Poor Things. I haven't
Poor
seen that
things.
one yet, and like I said, I haven't seen Killers yet. Um, did you see Past Lives? I've been hearing a lot about
Yeah.
Past Lives, that it's
Yeah,
really good.
I'm really high on past lives too, but like like I said, dude, there's so many great movies, but Past Lives I had like at a 4.5 out of 5, and it's a debut too, which is absolutely unreal. It's a phenomenal job, but yeah, this year was amazing for movies. Just so many great movies. So I'm interested to see who walks away with everything because I think there's definitely a handful of movies out there that are deserving of awards. So.
I I think that and again, I haven't seen Poor Things yet. But my money for best female is definitely Margot Robbie and Barbie.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think that's in the bag. I think Barbie is going to be a nominee for Best Picture for sure at the very least. I don't think it'll win it.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll beat
No.
Oppenheimer. I agree with you. I'm not an Oppenheimer fan. I didn't like Oppenheimer that much.
Yeah.
But I do think that it'll win Best Picture just because of the insane hype that movie has surrounding it.
Yeah.
Uh
Mhm.
what last category I wanted to ask you about. We have just a couple minutes left. Best foreign film. Gotta be
Oh,
Godzilla, right?
no.
No.
I it is not. It is, without a doubt, this movie called Monster.
Monster. Tell me about Monster.
Yes. So the reason why no one's really talking about Monster is because it technically hasn't, released in the United States yet. It's just starting to. I'm actually gonna go see it tonight again. But I saw it originally in, like, a little like October or maybe a little before October, the Indianapolis Film Festival, and it was just so good. It was so good. It was so beautiful. A a beautiful depiction of humanity and how everyone is almost capable of being a monster, but usually that's not the case, and the true monsters in the world are not like being held accountable for their actions. Kinda like that's
Right.
like the kinda message I took away from it, but, it was really good. It's directed by Hirokazu Kurita, who is actually becoming one of my all-time favorite directors. Like, I think he's cracked the top 5 for me. The way he directs emotion is crazy. The way he uses space is so good. He is so good at just, like, painting such a beautiful picture of humanity and to where everyone can relate no matter your culture or who you are, and it's just fucking beautiful. But yeah, the way that this was done and the screenplay and the way it's written, like it's one of those stories where you get it told through multiple perspectives. You get like three different perspectives, and each perspective kind of pulls back a layer and you get more and more of the story. So it like kind of like is good at transitioning into like who you think is like the monster, so to speak. So yeah, just fucking phenomenal. So I would like Monster to win Best Foreign Film, but I don't really know. There was a couple bangers foreign films that are being nominated, so that's going to be a good category.
Wh what country is that coming out of? Japan? Korea?
I think it's Korea, yeah,
Cool. For me, like, okay, so let me ask you this.
or
Is
actually
that
Japan.
is Monster your personal pick, or is
Japan.
that what you think will get the win, though? Or is it
That's my
both?
personal pick. I don't know what's gonna get the win. I mean, they could definitely do Godzilla -1 just because of its box office success, but I don't really know how the Academy is gonna like judge that like category because they could definitely go one of two ways. Because there was another like there's another movie that I can't think of right now that came out that I've heard really good things. I haven't been able to see it yet, but I've been hearing amazing things about that one too. So it'll just be interesting to see how they judge that category.
Sure.
But I think
Well,
Monster will be named nominated.
heck yeah. Well, foreign films are very important to us here on Masters. Most of us uh, watch a lot of subtitled projects.
Mhm.
And so that's definitely a category that we're all going to be keeping our ears and eyes focused on during the ceremonies coming up in March. So I'm looking forward to it. I believe it or not, I've never watched the Oscars before. This is going to be the first year that I'm doing it.
Oh yeah,
The only
yeah.
reason that I am doing it is because, uh, the film talk and film tube community are so dialed
Mhm.
into it, and where I'm so involved in that now, I want to be a part of the conversation now. So I'm gonna watch it. So
Yeah,
we'll have to discuss it more in depth when it gets closer to March, and we're talking more about nominees, and we know who's nominated and everything. So we might do another episode on that, or we might do a just a YouTube video on it. So keep your
for sure.
to the audience, keep your eyes tuned to our channel, Masters of Matinee, for the future of maybe possibly doing a video on that. Drew, thank you so much for coming on again. You are so fun to talk to. Every time you come on, I love our conversations. I want you to come on as many shows this season as you have time for, because you always bring and inject such a great attitude and great views on film into our show. And I feel like you and I's view on film aligns a lot, but also contrasts a lot. So I think it's
Mhm.
always really freaking interesting to talk to you about that stuff. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this, leave a like, go ahead and subscribe to the Masters of Matinee channel. Follow us on TikTok. You can follow Drew on TikTok at Drewbies Doobies Movies. And yeah, we'll see you later. Say goodnight, Drew.
Adios, muchachos. Good night.
Now for something completely different. Masters. 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 Masters of Matinee. Masters of Matinee. Starring Drewbies Doobies Movies, Judas Cinema Closet, JT the Talking Head, Teo the Terminator, and Zedzilla Movies. Masters of Matinee.